Here are the ingredients you're going to need for this recipe. First, you're going to need half a box of lasagna noodles, so about 10 noodles, and I've got whole grain noodles here, and you want to cook and cool them. About half a medium onion diced, works out to about 3/4 of a cup. About a cup or so of sliced mushrooms, again I'm using crimini. 3 to 4 cloves of garlic minced. 1 cup of prepared TVP. About 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Now, if you don't have Italian seasoning, you can use dried oregano and basil. About half a can of diced tomatoes, no salt. 796 mils, so about half of that can, or you can get a smaller can if you like. And usually I put spinach in my lasagna. I don't have spinach today, but I do have some baby kale, so I am going to put that in. I love spinach in my lasagna. 1 small zucchini sliced very thin, and I used a mandolin, sliced the whole thing. About a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast it adds a little bit of a cheesy flavor, and it's very, very high in vitamin B12 and other nutrients. Really good for you. And finally, some vegan shredded mozza. I'm using Daya, but there are other ones out there, and I'm not going to tell you how much to use on this. I use minimal cheese because I don't like the way it melts. But that's up to you. So I've got a bag here. You can use up to the full bag. I use probably about half the bag. Once your onions are translucent, and you can see I've added a little bit of vegetable broth here, or you can add water just to stop them from burning or sticking to the pan. But once they're tender, right here, you're going to add your TVP all at once. TVP stands for textured vegetable protein, and also the garlic. Stir that in and let it simmer on low heat for a few minutes. The TVP tends to pick up the flavors that you cook it with, so you really want to get it in the mix fairly early so that it picks up all those flavors. While those are cooking, you're going to put your diced tomatoes into a blender and add your seasoning. And we're going to blend it until it's pureed nicely so that we can add it to the sauce. That should be good. So now we're going to take it and add it to our TVP mixture. And scrape that out. You want to stir this up, mixing it all together, making yourself an amazing pasta sauce. Let that simmer on low for maybe about 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be very long. There's no meat in there. So just about 10 minutes just for all those flavors to combine. At this point, preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then you can start your layers. Start with the noodles and make sure you overlap them really well, and you even want them to come up the side a little bit. Next is a layer of the sauce spread evenly over the noodles, and then you're going to sprinkle some of that nooch just all around. It really absorbs well into the sauce. I prefer to put it here, but you can put it on the cheese layer if you want. Next is the zucchini, followed by the spinach or arugula, or in my case kale, and then sprinkled with cheese. Like I said, I like to go light on the cheese. I just find that the vegan cheese doesn't melt as nice, so if you put too much it becomes slimy, whereas just enough you get that texture and the flavor that you're used to. And now you start the layers all over again. This time layering the noodles in the opposite direction. And there you have it, ready to go into the oven. At this point, if you like, you can grind fresh black pepper on the top, or you can slice tomatoes and then the fresh black pepper. I'm not going to do any of that today. I'm just putting it in the oven as it is. Right out of the oven, nice and sizzling and bubbly.